Germany's resurgence in naval power following the devastating outcomes of the Great War can be encapsulated in a single term, or rather, a name: Bismarck. This battleship, named after the esteemed Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, stood as the largest warship constructed in Germany, second only to its equally colossal counterpart, the Tirpitz. Both of these massive vessels overshadowed the majority of battleships in maritime history in terms of size. This ship was intended to restore Germany's favor during World War II. However, the actual events that unfolded deviated from German expectations, aligning with the very fear that the Führer himself held most strongly. From a statistical perspective, the Bismarck possessed numerous advantages. At its final construction, this enormous ship weighed around 50,000 tons, significantly surpassing the original 35,000-ton limit dictated by the Washington Naval Treaty before its expiry. The ship's weight was increased by thick layers of steel, which encased the engine room, hull, and other vital components. In addition, the Bismarck boasted nearly a dozen 15-inch guns, contributing to its impressive structure and enabling it to achieve a top speed of 30 knots, surpassing that of any ships deployed by the British Royal Navy. Before the outbreak of World War II, the Bismarck had been stationed at a shipyard in Hamburg from the summer of 1936 until the late winter of 1939, when it was finally launched. Over a year later, the ship embarked on its first trials, and it wasn't until the spring of 1941 that it was officially deployed for combat. Upon setting Bismarck in motion under Admiral Gunther Lütjen's leadership for its first mission, the German Kriegsmarine hesitated to inform their leader, fearing that Hitler might command the ship to hold back. This lack of prior notice reflected the widespread awareness of Hitler's deep apprehension about the potential loss of such a significant battleship due to the strategic ramifications and the profound humiliation it would entail. When the Kriegsmarine finally communicated the news to Hitler, his reaction was predictably one of horror, leading him to inquire if the ship could be recalled. This proposal was rejected by the Navy, leaving them with no alternative but to wait and observe. A crucial moment in the early service history of the Bismarck occurred near Icelandic waters on May 24, 1941. This encounter, known as the Clash of the Titans, saw the Bismarck and its accompanying heavy cruiser, the Prinz Eugen, engage with the British ships HMS Prince of Wales and HMS Hood. A fierce battle ensued, resulting in the explosive sinking of the HMS Hood under German fire, a dramatic loss that severely impacted British morale. As the Bismarck set sail for the shores of occupied France, it seemed that Germany's naval prowess was gaining recognition. The HMS Hood had been eliminated, and the British battleship accompanying it was forced to retreat due to malfunctions aboard the HMS Prince of Wales. However, the Germans' confidence may have been somewhat misplaced. While they believed their naval communication codes were impregnable, they were unaware that British radio direction finding stations were monitoring their transmissions. This allowed the British to track the Bismarck's approximate location and anticipate its likely course. Consequently, another confrontation became inevitable. The final battle for the Bismarck began on May 26, 1941. Royal Air Force torpedo bombers initiated an attack on the German battleship, causing initial minor damage that escalated as the night unfolded. A British torpedo severely impaired the Bismarck's steering, rendering it nearly uncontrollable. Repeated efforts to repair the steering failed, leading to the ship listing heavily toward the approaching British ships, Rodney and King George. As the night progressed, the ship's commanders came to realize the gravity of their dire situation. With little hope of recovery, the crew was offered the choice to take supplies from the ship's stores. At sunrise, the British battleships King George V and Rodney arrived on the scene, engaging in a fierce final battle. Bismarck, by this point severely damaged, fired its last shot. Admiral Lütjens had been killed in action, and the ship's functionality was rapidly deteriorating. As the ship became increasingly wrecked and unmanageable, the crew scuttled it. By 10:40 a.m. on May 27, 1941, a few hundred miles west of Brest, the symbol of German maritime pride was no more. The catastrophe unfolded, leaving over 2,000 German sailors to perish in the North Atlantic. Of the more than 2,220 crew members aboard the Bismarck, less than 120 survived. The British ships, including the heavy cruiser Dorsetshire, undertook rescue efforts, but due to the presence of a German submarine, They were eventually forced to depart, leaving most of the survivors stranded. Despite the tragedy of leaving so many men to their fate, the sinking of the Bismarck proved to be a critical boost to British morale and a triumph that avenged the loss of the HMS Hood. It further heightened German concerns about the Allies. Upon receiving news of the final battle, Prime Minister Winston Churchill, standing in the church house, reacted with a mixture of consideration and renewed determination.